What are some things the USA does right? The public libraries. They are amazing. I always say that if libraries didn't exist and someone came up with the idea today, that person would have been laughed out of town. Libraries are a throwback to an era of community that no longer exists. I was strolling my new neighborhood recently and decided to check out the old library. An inconspicuous plaque on one corner read "Donated by Andrew Carnegie" with the year. A rich dude doing good things is possible. Yeah, Carnegie donations led to around 1,600 libraries in the US. My hometown's library in a podunk suburb of Chicago was a Carnegie creation. I'm a public librarian, and I really appreciate seeing this. Please tell your library how much they mean to you, and tell your local government. We are facing unprecedented challenges to books and free programs for the public. Local governments constantly want to cut our budgets, or restrict what we do because some Moms for Liberty group in another state didn't like that a program we offer. A lot of us have received threats for doing what we do, and some of the things I've personally heard and witnessed, yeah. National parks. Geography in general, not that it's a man-made thing. The US has a vast array of climates and geographic features. The differences between Arizona, New York, Florida, Alaska, Wisconsin, California etc. are pretty staggering. It's even crazier when you think how much it can vary in those individual places. I live in Arizona and it's desert in Phoenix, but you can go 2 hours north to luscious greenery and snow in the winter. Flagstaff is one of the snowiest major cities in the US, blew my mind when I learned that. Came here to say this. US national parks are gorgeous. I would love to live there just so that I can enjoy them more. I mean living in USA, not the actual NPs. I'm from Spain, so the only times I get to visit is when I travel to the country. I have lived in and very close to several national parks, Grand Tetons, Yellowstone, Grand Staircase, which I'm aware is a monument not a park, just to name a few. They are stunning. I can't even begin to describe how beautiful and majestic they are. The National Weather Service. That's where all the rest of the USA weather channels get their information. www.weather.gov. Enjoy all of the weather forecasts you could ever want without the constant ads and sensationalized media. Plus hourly charts that forecast temperature, humidity, wind speed and direction, and precipitation sorted by type for the next 2 days. Down to the resolution of your zip code and/or nearest airport. Yes, thank you. I'm a private sector meteorologist, and it's pretty scary how many agenda-driven private Mets have a grudge against their federal colleagues. In our case, broadcasting, we team directly with the local National Weather Service. They cover small 10-ish county-wide sectors across the country, so every area in every state has their own local new office, and hell, sometimes I go up to my local office on calm weather days and eat some DoorDash with the evening shift. Meteorologists need desperately to realize that we are all fundamentally on the same team. The government equals socialism. Airheads are putting lives in danger. NASA. That moon landing thing was okay, I guess. Mars is occupied by robots right now. Free public toilets. I never knew paid toilets existed until I left the US. Don't forget it, an activist group fought hard for this. It'll go away if it's not protected. I dunno man, sometimes I'd rather pay to use a clean toilet in Europe than some of the dirty shit I find here. Any port in a storm though. From experience, just because you pay doesn't mean it's clean. If you can even find one. The anxiety I would have trying to find a place to pee when I lived in Spain. Can't imagine having a kid there. Long hiking trails and wilderness areas. I hiked the Pacific Crest Trail this summer, and I agree wholeheartedly. Most folks who I met on the trail were international hikers, too. And a lot of them went through hell to secure a B2 visa this year just to come over and walk this 18 inches strip of dirt from Mexico to Canada. The Americans with Disabilities Act. We don't have perfect inclusion of disabled people. But we're a lot better at it than lots of places. The first time I traveled outside the US, this was the first thing I noticed. It's like most countries, many first world included, just find it inconvenient to accommodate everyone. The AITA was huge. No way an act that large would pass today. It added new regulations and costs to essentially every business. A huge one-time hindrance that would never fly nowadays. Preservation of large areas of wilderness while still making it very accessible for almost anyone to use and enjoy. USAF operates their survival school out of Colville National Forest in upstate Washington, and they're very strict about how we disposed of our MRE trash. On the last night we were there, the flight chief said if anyone threw MRE trash in the crapper, basically just a hole they dug and put some brush around to give privacy, they'd randomly pick someone and have them pick all the pieces of trash out of the hole. When we had fires at night, the instructors made sure to follow all the USFS regulations on having to dig up the ground to prevent embers from burning into the roots and spreading to surrounding trees. As a nature guy and a former firefighter, it was awesome to see all the instructors take such pride in preserving the land they are using. Barbecue. In my opinion, barbecue is the most overlooked part of American culture/cuisine. Every time people think of iconic American food, they point to fast food and apple pie and then roll their eyes at it. But barbecue is the true staple of American culture and cuisine that we should all be proud of. Public domain, and the concept of fair use of intellectual property. A lot of countries don't recognize fair use, like Japan. It's part of why Nintendo is so litigious. Fuck Disney, though. Nothing is perfect. At least they stopped lobbying for more extensions. Now we just gotta advocate for the duration to be rolled back. No smoking in most buildings. Smoking as a whole, the US anti-smoking movement is a fairly big success story. And people get it entirely wrong. It wasn't so much an issue of people smoking. It was an issue of service workers being exposed constantly. My parents worked at a casino in college, and you can't imagine the amount of old-timers that died of cancer/COPD, etc. despite never smoking. National parks. The Roosevelt administration realized what a treasure of diverse geography we have in the USA and claimed these beautiful areas national parks. Truly a treasure. If national parks were proposed today, the idea would be shot down before it could even get off the ground. Free water at restaurants. Free most places so long as you ask for tap water. Bingo. If you ask for water in most places, you are asking for bottled sparkling water. If you ask for it in the US, you mean tap water. It's largely because the US has really good water quality in general. There are major exceptions, but as a whole the US has very good tap water. On the subreddits for the major cities in the US, you see people asking, is the water safe to drink? And almost always the answer is, why wouldn't it be? It's water, they make it safe to drink. Like you said, some major exceptions, but those are nationwide, well-known scandals. I'm surprised no one has mentioned scientific research yet. USA as a country is miles ahead of any other. Sure, you have one-off universities who do good research outside of the US, but the sheer volume here is amazing. Look at the list of Nobel Prize winners by country. Silicon Valley for tech, Boston region for medicine. It's mind-blowing how the US research infrastructure attracts and retains talent. Edit, I noticed that people were talking about the per capita number of Nobel Prizes. I think a better way of judging would be to compare the number of Nobel Prize winners per number of people involved in academia in the US, and not just per capita. I don't know what the answer is, it's just a thought. The United States has nearly as many Nobel Prizes as the rest of the world combined. But aren't we all fat, stupid and lazy? Sarcasm. Diner food. Especially breakfast. It's unique in its simplicity, ubiquity, mostly, good quality, and the comprehensive range of items. You can walk into a diner in any town in America, any time of the day or night, and get presented with the same 5 to 10 pages of menu options you'd see anywhere else. No matter what you are hankering for, it's on the menu and you'll be eating within 10 minutes of ordering. It's a good quality, predictable, satisfying and cheap meal you can find anywhere. The epitome of comfort food. The romanticism in this diner culture description is perfection. Legit made me smile. Hey, yeah, let me get 2 eggs over easy with bacon and home fries. Whole wheat toast dry. And a coffee. Thank you so much. Coming right up, sugar. Disability access. The AITA quietly makes millions of American lives better every day, with very little fanfare. It is something every American should be damn proud of, yet few realize the extent of its power and influence. Air conditioning. There was a Top Gear with Clarkson, Hammond, and May where they all drove 80s cars and only one of their cars had working AC, a Cadillac, and one of them joked Americans take an air conditioning unit and build a car around it. I'm pretty sure it was the same special where Jeremy said that turning right on red is the only thing America has contributed to Western civilization. Lol. Entertainment. Indian and Japanese movie studios output some seriously good shit, but by sheer volume, the US has them beat many times over. I think there's more to it than sheer volume. All of the best cinema comes out of Hollywood. It's quantity and quality. The Bill of Rights is one of the landmark achievements in world history for the progress of human civilization. If there is anything that the US will be remembered for, it is that. Alongside other miscellaneous rights enshrined in law like that against ex post facto prosecution. The free speech protections enshrined by the US are probably the most robust in the world, and have been for some time. They absolutely are. It's shocking how many first world countries can jail its citizens up for speaking their views. Even Canada and England. Yeah, I watching an Australian show and Ray's dude was getting talked to by the cops and he told them to fuck off. The next line blew my American mind. Alright, you're being arrested for using foul language. I have 2 kids, a 6-year-old and a 7-month-old. Today, I took my sons to a kids' gym to play. When we got there was a Middle Eastern family, a couple mixed-race families, a couple black families, and my pasty white ass. All the kids just played together and had a great time. There's hardly anywhere else in the world that you can see all these types of families under one roof and nobody thinks twice about it. I say all that to say this, we still have a lot of work to do with race relations in the USA, but at the same time I think we underestimate how much progress we've made. We don't always stop to recognize and admire the moments like I had earlier today. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for daily uploads. After you've done that, check out one of our other videos.